Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is G. Cole, and welcome to Homegrown, where I get to share with you some good music while talking to some great people. Hello, world. I hope you're feeling as good as I am. I want to big up all my homegrown listeners out there and welcome all the new listeners. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so we can keep you updated when new material is available. We will be posting new episodes bi-weekly. Want to thank everyone that's been listening and sharing. Please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Also, check out the website homegrownwithgcole.com to listen and for all things homegrown. The YouTube channel is also available. Please subscribe. The podcast is now available on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all your podcast platforms. We're also very interactive. Please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at MyGCole. This is episode 44. Among the growing talent pool is a young mover and shaker with a vibe that's just refreshing, just dope. Her name is Naomi Cowan, and she's today's guest. Naomi, welcome.
Hey, well, God, thank you for having me.
The pleasure is definitely all mine. I mentioned to you and to the masses out there, energy. You have an energy, you got a vibrance, so colorful with it. I'm heading straight into it. Where's that come from?
Oh man, I don't know. I think that's just how God made me. You know what I'm saying? I've just always been like that. Ever since I was a child, just very expressive, very joyful, playful, always, cracking jokes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really say. I think it's a combination also of just how I was raised. My dad, if you've ever met him, he's just this very jovial guy, like just very friendly with everybody, loves everybody. My mom, she's such a pleasant person. She's a bit more calm and laid back. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I think I'm just like a combination of both. And then when I was young, I just loved watching, like Jim Carrey movies and Nickelodeon. So I just was always that kid pretending to be something else on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think all of those things combined have made up, that energy that you feel.
I got you. And you've got a background in media.
Yes.
Personally, I think I analyze everything. I think it gives you an edge above all the rest. I love what's going on with the ladies right now. Ladies are kicking butt. I just feel like the industry right now is, it's a male-dominated industry, they say, and it has always been. But right now, I think dudes are on the bench and the ladies are the starting five. That's just me. Me. You know what I'm saying? No, but you've got a media background, and I think it gives you an edge above the rest because you have a seasoned way of captivating an audience. Talk to me a little bit about that media background.
Yeah, sure. So I studied media. I initially, when I was in high school, I didn't really want to actually do music. Until, I kind of fell in love with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've always loved it, but when I realized I wanted to do it for me, not just for listening purposes or, church or whatever. So the thing is that I started to study media because when I was in high school, there wasn't a lot, at least the kind of high school I went to was very academic. And so in terms of my options that I felt like I had in front of me, media was what seemed like the best option based on what I love doing, based on my passions. I also really do love hosting and presenting and things like that, because that was one of the things I loved doing as a child. Mm-hmm. So I went to Ryerson University in Toronto and, finished my degree there. And, I've worked in the media in Jamaica actually for quite some time. And it's been an amazing experience. I've met so many wonderful people and been able to work on great projects. And it's given me a ton of, as you said, experience behind and in front of the camera that has prepared me as an artist. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's it. I used to be a TV host. I've done some TV production, but mainly I've been on camera as a presenter or anchor, as you would call it. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about my background in media.
It shows, man, because you again, the key word there is comfortable. It's like, the cameras, you're just vibrant. Yeah. You're there. It's almost second nature, is what I see.
Yeah, it is. But I'm going to tell you something. The funniest thing is that as I said, when I was a little girl, I actually used to stand in front of the mirror with a brush or something, pretending to be a microphone, and I would just talk to the mirror like, hi, I'm Naomi Cowan, and da 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 da, And then I used to also pretend like I had my own radio show, so I would record myself on a recorder, like a voice note recorder, because we had tons lying around the house because my parents are songwriters, and I would just basically like host my own show and put on different voices, pretend to be different types of broadcasters. Like 1 second I'm the sports broadcaster, next second I'm the news person, and literally pretend,
Right.
And so to be honest, it's just always been part of who I am, that little part. And so, when it came to actually doing it as a career, it was like basically like I've been doing it my whole life. You see me?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, I'm one of those people who I love the backstories because I firmly believe that, knowing where you're coming from and what life was prior kind of explains exactly why we're looking at and absorbing who we are. So I'm gonna get in the rear view mirror for a little second here. Let's talk legacy for a minute. Your mom is the legendary Carlene Davis Cowan, and your dad, of course, is legendary Tommy Cowan. You couldn't escape this talent if you tried.
No, I really couldn't, and that is really the conversation I had to have with myself in recognizing that there was a part of me that was running away from it. Maybe I was afraid of, because I know what the industry comes with, because I've seen it my whole life. And so I think it was just, I had to get to a place of seeing that it was more than about me having a career or whatever. It was about a legacy. And even seeing that God has really given me such a wonderful gift, and I needed to use it in such a way that would impact the world and continue on what my parents have started. So I really couldn't run away from it, but to trust me, I ran away from it for a long time. And one of my first releases is a song called Naked. It's actually not a reggae song, it's more of a pop song, but that song perfectly describes that journey. So I'd encourage you listeners to look for it. It's on every platform, Spotify, iTunes, on YouTube, whatever. But I would love for people to check that song out, because it really brings you into the mind of like what was happening with me when I decided to finally do music.
Wow.
Yeah.
I dig that, and I really check for that song. As a matter of fact, when I got, it's one of those scenarios where you get this song, and then you go do the research, and then I fell in love with some of those songs too. Naked and Prepared. So you mentioned those songs. Let me drop a piece of it for the masses so they know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Cool beans. Keep it moving, keep it grooving. It is Homegrown.
Your voice pierces my bones to the marrow, yeah. Your love sees in my heart, searching every part, yeah. Who could imagine such a love? It comes like a flood. You love every part of me, unconditional. 'Cause I'm naked before you now, bearing my heart, yeah. Oh, I'm naked, and I made my choice, using my voice, yeah. Naked.
I love it, Naomi. I love it. And ladies and gentlemen, go check out the song Naked. It was a single. I enjoy it. It's one of those songs I ran around bumping to for a while when I first heard it. And there's a spiritual undertone to what you do. All right.
Definitely. 100%. I mean, I am, as you know, I'm a Christian, and so everything that I do, goes right back to God, and He's the one that gave me everything that I have, from my voice to how He made me. So it does have a spiritual element, because it was a spiritual journey to come to music. It wasn't like, oh, me can sing, so me I go to this music thing. It wasn't about that. It was literally God showing me like, hey, you have this gift. I gave this to you. You have to use it,
Yeah.
And as I continue to follow him in that way. He has shaped my everything you see creatively, especially. It's really, how would I say? It's really just been like directed by God. Even doing reggae, all of that has just been as part of my journey. So yeah,
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the thing that I really appreciate, I harp on a lot of the things I do because a lot of up-and-comers watch the program, a lot of upcoming talent, producers, singers, songwriters, and so forth. So whenever there's an artist or a personality that I think they can benefit from, I definitely always love talking to them. And I think you are. The amazing thing is, you're a young lady, but you've got a seasoned, mature grace, which of course it comes from, like you said, being around the industry, but it also comes from you knowing exactly, and I can get that in your tone and in what you say, knowing exactly who you are unwaveringly.
Yeah, totally.
I love that. Now, talent-wise.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been like that. I don't know if it's also because when I have a lot of older siblings too, and so I kind of in Jamaica we have this thing that is called being force ripe, and so in a way when I was younger, people used to say, "Oh, she going like she big so." Well, it's because like I just had so many older siblings, so I just felt like I was up there, with them.
Right.
Yeah. So, so I go.
I love it. Now, is there any, and I always ask this of anyone who has a legacy in music or entertainment or so forth, because it can create its own set of of challenges. Is there ever any concerns, any pressure at all to live up to expectations because you have a name that's in the industry?
No, not really. Well, personally, I don't feel any what you can call it. I don't feel no pressure whatsoever. I would say, there's other pressures that are much stronger. Because you see, the cool thing is that there's so many other children of other artists that are out there right now. And so people just want to see what you bring into the table more than anything else.
Right.
It's not about living up to standards. They just want to know you. As a matter of fact, what's great, what has happened, that people are always looking to see if I'm going to do the exact same thing.
Right.
They want to know, is she just going to copy her mom? Is she going to be her own person? And my biggest thing is to ensure that I'm being my own person, right? So if anything, there's been like a bit of all right, let me wait and see what she's doing. There has been maybe, people probably wondering, like, is she doing gospel? So I do feel like a little bit of concern / like from maybe the church community or whatever the case is. But otherwise, I don't really, first of all, I'm not really keeping my ears to the ground where I'm listening to what people have to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's very distracting as well.
Absolutely.
I just do what I need to do, and I keep certain people close.
Yeah.
In terms of family, mentors, you have certain people that you value what they say, you ask for their advice, and then just you and God deal with the rest.
I feel you on that one. There's another song that I came across, and I really, really dug that song. So I'm going to touch a little bit of this one for the masses also. This one is called Prepare. Ladies and gentlemen, that one is Prepare. Make sure you go ahead and check that one out. Let's, again, rearview mirror. Give me a little glimpse into the life of a little Naomi growing up.
Wow. How do I say? So as I said, I was always that kid pretending, like pretending to be different characters. I always used to put on little concerts for family friends when people came over and collected money at the end of it. So I was very entrepreneurial, that's for sure. That is 100%. I just used to find ways to make money so I could buy patties. That was my thing. Every time I used to make money, I just take it and buy a patty. I used to actually sell plums.
For real?
We had 2 massive plum trees in our backyard where I grew up in New Kingston.
Wow.
So I used to ask, I don't know who, I guess I used to ask my mom or dad to get me one of those packs of plastic bags, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would pick the plums, wash them, and then bag them, and then go to the end of my street. So it's like I lived in a little cul-de-sac, kind of like a townhouse without a gate, and sit on Oxford Road. So I used to live off of Oxford Road.
Right.
Sit at the end of Oxford Road and sell the plums for I don't even remember how much, $5 a bag or whatever.
Wow.
Or $10 a bag. And first of all, people would purchase. The greatest thing is people would actually buy it from me.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I didn't get kidnapped, so praise God for that. And then and I would just use that money. So I was very entrepreneurial, and then as I said, grew up very exposed to the music industry. I used to go on tour with my parents. A lot of our life was traveling. Right. Meaning, whenever I wasn't in school, have to, go on tour with mom and dad during Sunsplash, or even just when they had shows in the countryside. So I feel like I spent a lot of time on the road. So what that means is I can fall asleep anywhere.
Wow.
If you want to, put me, if you put me in a noisy car and I'm tired, once I'm tired, that's it.
Wow.
I am out like a light, because I'm just used to growing up. I mean, for me, my greatest memory is being backstage of like Sting or whatever the case is, and feeling this bass just vibrating because it's so loud, right?
Mm-hmm.
And reggae is so bass heavy. So that was a huge part of my childhood. Also being in the studio, falling asleep on the floor. So like the smell of the studio plays a huge, I know that smell, it's like home to me,
Wow.
I used to sing a lot with my mom, whether she would bring me up on stage or have me do background vocals with her, feature me on songs, things like that. That was a big part of my childhood. I was very athletic. I went to Heidel Prep.
Big up Heidel.
Yeah, big up Heidel. So I ran track and field. Then I went on to Campion College. Big up Campion, and then off to university. So yeah, those are some of the things. I was a very well-rounded child.
Wow.
I just loved being outside, being in I love climb tree, run barefoot.
Wow.
Actually, it was so funny is I kind of I used to kind of make fun of other girls on my street, and I hope, if any of them are listening, I'm so sorry. But I used to tease them and say, "Boy, you're so stupid, now wear shoes outside. Take off your shoes, man." Because when you're a runner, I don't know, most Jamaicans can relate to this, but it's like you run faster when you're barefoot. Right. Yeah,
right.
You run much faster. 100%, you run much faster. So,
wow.
that was something. So it's funny because I was like a girly tomboy. So I would be in a dress, and or a flowery shirt or of some sort, but then barefoot and running and playing and getting my knees chipped and all sorts of things. So
wow. Little bump in there, that's a run over people and I cause beer problems on the block.
Exactly.
I love it. I can, and again, even the way you explain it, I can visualize it. Now,
ragamuffin. I was like a ragamuffin.
But lovable nonetheless. They didn't kidnap you. They bought the plum
exactly
for market value.
And then look at me with Paradise Plum. Look at that.
You know what I'm saying? Comes full circle with that. I really, really dig it. Now, Paradise Plum is making waves right now. But when I really said to myself, well, damn, Naomi is when I heard Things You Say You Love, You're Gonna Lose. Talk to me about that song. How did that song come about?
Yeah, man. So I I so that song is, a cover actually of a song my dad wrote in 1967 when he was in a band called called the Jamaicans. And so, this was his first. He was very, very young and was in this group with his friends and everything. And he, they started this band called themselves the Jamaicans. They had a big hit before called Ba Ba Boom that won like the festival song competition and all sorts of stuff. So so then this song, Things You Say You Love, was their follow-up. And so when I was deciding to pursue reggae music, I said, if I'm going to do this and if this is about my legacy, I need to do something that is going to capture the attention of the authentic, the lovers of reggae music.
Right.
As well as kind of positioning myself in that way. So I met Mark Pelly, who is from the reggae pop band called Magic. And if you know Magic, they're responsible for that big hit, Why You Gotta Be So Rude.
Yep.
And so I got connected to him through a friend. And so when we got connected, I thought to myself, well, how can I find a cool way for me and this guy to collaborate where, he'll be interested in working with me? And that song immediately came to mind because UB40, which is, big band, they covered that same song, my dad's song, in 2004. And so I said, okay, this would be a great project. Pitched it to Mark. He was down. We worked on it remotely. And then here we are. It was my first single. And that was a song I released when I first came back to Jamaica. Well, currently I'm in Florida, but when I first moved back to Jamaica, that was what I used to introduce myself to the industry. And what it did was it put me on a lot of different, I got to perform on lots of different shows. Like, for example, I performed on the Dennis Brown tribute show.
Wow.
For Reggae Month. I performed on the Hurricane fundraiser that was hosted by the Reggae Songstress production team. And yeah, it was great. It allowed me to kind of capture the attention of the older movers and shakers in the industry, as well as the young, the new wave, because the song itself is a rock steady song.
Yes, it is.
So if I perform it at a Dubwise or anything like that, people are going to be like, yeah, man, know this tune or love this tune.
Yeah.
Because it represents that ska rock steady era.
I love it. I love that song so much, and I think, a lot of times we sit down and we're artists and we say, okay, is it just feel, it's just passion. There's some precise calculation in that one too, because like you said, boom, you've got the more mature crowd, you got the dubwise kind of crowd, and you've got today's pop crowd with the Mark Pelly collab, and just the way it is done, because it doesn't take away from the authenticity of the original record. I've probably heard 3 or so more other versions of it, and I still come back to this one because though it's a 2017 song or 2017 release, it's got that nostalgic feel to it. So
Exactly.
you guys
Exactly.
knocked it out. I must say,
Thank
knocked it
you.
out the park. Now we're talking further down the road. Paradise Plum, huge record. How did that one come about?
Yeah, so this was in collaboration with Teflon of Zinc Fence Records. So Teflon and I, we had been spending a few months together just working on listening to rhythms, seeing how what could work from he and I. And he gave me this rhythm. He came over to my studio, and he started playing it. And immediately, I just heard a melody, and I was just like, silence. I still have that voice note now, and you just hear like that's how songwriting goes. You just hear us humming, and I just kept going. Da 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 da. Silence, I wanna make you my guy. Silence, and that was it. And so I had this song called Silence 1st conceptualized, and then Sarah Coach, who is also who's the daughter of Susan Coach, rest in peace, who's
Rest
like
in
a
peace.
talented Jamaican musician that just passed away.
Yeah.
She and I kept messaging each other on Instagram, being like, yo, we should work together. We should work together. And we finally did. And, she helped me with that story that you're hearing in the verse, like just the spending time on the regular, so she came by. Well, she sent me a voice note, and I was like, this is dope. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was it. We finished off the song in one night, and then continued to work on the recording, especially, and recorded it. And then it was mixed by Suku of, Suku from War 21.
Right.
Did that. And then moved forward with the release. And that was Paradise Plum. And everybody on the team felt like it was going to be a hit, And so far, it has been, this magical experience, right?
It's tremendous.
So yeah, that's it.
Oh, hey.
Baby.
No, yes. You never put up a fight, no.
Paradise Plum.
Just know me like we knew we never had to say your word, not your shown. Silence, you never put up a fight, no.
Paradise Plum.
Just know me like we knew we never had to say your word, not your shown. Silence, we're spending time on the regular. We'll pass the days when you just call me on my cellular. If I'm the book, then you're the editor. Cause we always bringing out the best in us. It's not a rushing, man. Even though you cuss me cause I stress you, I'm not noting, man. It's just a trusting, man. Doing life together, got each other, I'm not noting. You never put up a fight, no.
Paradise Plum.
You just know me like we knew we never had to say your word, not to sound. Silence, baby. You never put up a fight, no.
Paradise Plum.
You just know me like we knew we never had to say your word, not to sound. Silence. Remember when you did that check for me, yeah, and buy me sweetie down a halfway tree. You said Paradise Plum, who you are run from. I give you my love, boy. He's not a rushing man. Even though you cuss me cause I stress you, I'm not noting, man. It's just a trusting man. Doing life together, got each other. You never put up a fight, no.
Paradise Plum.
You just know me like we knew we never had to say your word, not to sound. Silence,
I don't wanna fight.
you never put up a fight, no.
I dig it. I remember the first, just like you remember them from inception, the voice notes, the conversation, the linking up. I remember vividly the first time I heard the song. I was actually mid-show. I was doing a show, and sometimes you're playing and you're doing what music is playing and you're checking out something else. And I got that song during the middle of the show. I ended up having to put it in the show right then and there. I hadn't even heard the whole thing, but it just had that prehensile effect, just grabbed me. And I really dug it. And everything to me falls into place. From the artwork is colorful, the song is colorful, and then when I started getting the snippets that okay, there's some optics to come. I wouldn't even call it a video, but the optics.
Yeah, we're calling it a visual. Yeah, that's what we're calling it.
And when it came out, it just so perfectly matched the song. Everything. I'm talking about concept. Everything was dope. Talk to me a little bit about the video, the concept behind that one. Who came up with that?
So the Paradise Plum visual, yes. So actually myself and the director, her name is Kia Moses, we're very good friends, and we've always talked about wanting to work with each other. She runs her own company called Those Creative People. And so between myself, her, and also someone else on my creative team, his name is Jason Panton. You know, first Jason and I sat down and we actually looked at a bunch of, what's it called? We looked at a bunch of fashion videos. We were like, yo, it would be cool if this was a fashion film, right? And I was like, wow, that would actually be pretty dope. And so so we did that. So we first looked at some fashion content. So we looked at like H&M, we looked at, you know, those kinds of things. And then Kia and I sat down a little bit more, and she said, it would be cool if you're on a bicycle. And then she said, like, imagine if you were riding around and just, you know, what's the word? Like just hailing up people in dope clothing, and it just built upon built. And so I would say, you know, it was this collaborative effort between myself and two really great creatives that, you know, support my music and are interested in, you know, just seeing me blossom and win, seeing everybody win. Because for me, what I wanted out of the project as well is that I wanted to be sure that everybody involved would win. You know, everyone on the production team, that, you know, everyone that gave of their time and effort would be able to look back and say, yo, I was part of Paradise Plum, and I'm so happy that I became a part of it.
Love
you
it.
see me?
Love it.
So that was it. And we you know, we spent almost not $0, but it was a very low budget project, all things being considered, and somehow we were able to put together something that so far the feedback that we've gotten has been like, yo, like other artists have reached out to me and just said, like, you know, Naomi, this is amazing, this is so you. You know, that's the other thing that they've said, this video represents you. Like, I feel your personality coming through, doesn't feel like you're trying to be someone else, which is super important. And yeah, so I don't know what to say. Like, another thing I've felt about it is that, you know, people have also said, like, it feels as though it is a utopia. Right? Like, a lot of people have said, like it feels like a new Jamaica. It feels like what would happen if, you know, the crime and everything changed and like Jamaica became, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the other feedback we've gotten. More than anything else, it feels like, yo, imagine if Yard was like this.
Trust me.
Imagine if JA was like this, and like we could ride around the road, you know, everybody dress up.
Just love.
So yes, just a whole heap of love.
Yeah. I dig it. I get exactly what you mean.
Yeah, we wanted to create a candy colored tea.
I love it.
That's what we wanted to create. I think we hit the nail on the head, and I think we've represented the song. I really believe in this song. I believe that it is going to not only do well for me personally, but for the industry, you know, that crossover reggae, that sweet sound, right? And I'm just looking forward to what else is happening. You know, this weekend I'm on the Grace Jerk Festival here in Florida. And then by next week, I head to New York.
Nice. This is gonna be dope. Just listening to what you're telling me there, it's gonna be dope. I know you got some stuff to do, so I'm gonna let you run. But on behalf of my listeners and myself,
thank you for having me, though.
The pleasure is so mine. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And I you know, also just want to big you up for what you're doing, because what you are doing for the industry, for reggae music, you know, we as artists cannot do this on our own. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, without people listening to our songs and loving our songs, we wouldn't be able to continue to make our songs and perform. And, you know, I also have a big respect for the media in general, as you know, because I not grew up, but I worked in the media. Right. And so when I speak with people like yourself or anybody in the music industry, same thing, just enough respect, because what you're doing, especially people that talk good things about others, what you're doing, we need it, right? It's a symbiotic relationship, and I appreciate it.
My pleasure. More love, and keep doing what you're doing. And we got nothing else to say. You know what I mean? You keep doing what you're doing. This is it's good stuff. So that's all we got to say. You know what I mean?
Good stuff.
But keep doing your thing. And I hope one of these days we're going to sit down face to face in the Homegrown studios and we're going to chop it up for 2 days.
All right.
But for now, go do what you got to do. All right?
All right. Give thanks.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Later. Bye.
Blessings. Naomi Cowan, ladies and gentlemen. And there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has indeed been a pleasure. Remember, subscribe to the podcast, Homegrown with G. Cole, available now on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all your podcast platforms. And check out the website, homegrownwithgcole.com, for all things homegrown and to listen. Remember, be safe, be kind, and be good to each other. My name is G. Cole, and this is Homegrown.
Nakikinika sa música, Homegrown with G. Cole.
Estás escuchando Homegrown con G. Cole.
您现在正在收听的是 Homegrown with G. Cole.
You're listening to Homegrown with G. Cole.
Remember, all the music played here on the podcast Homegrown with G. Cole is available on iTunes, Spotify, and all your digital retailers. Please support the artists.